Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO City Downtown set. It is the most complex LEGO City or Town series set of all time, with 2,010 pieces, which I assembled in one sitting, one session over on my Twitch channel. Now this cost me $200 US. There's a lot to look at here. This comes with 14 minifigures plus an animal and 2 small vehicles. The structures have some real depth to them. They are not just facades, but they are open around the backs and sides for access to the interiors. The whole thing is built around the modern road plate system. So you've got 2 8x16 pieces out there, one 16x16 right here, and then another 8x16 here. And combining that with the width, you end up having a base area that's approximately the same as an extra large standalone base plate, or 48x48, or that's equivalent to 1.5 base plates in width and depth. On one side is a park or small green space with a single tree with a simple build to it, but from a distance especially, it looks pretty organic. You got a little bit of waviness to the shape of the trunk there, and you can kind of adjust how the leaves are angled up. Bird up on top that is nesting with a very large egg to go with it. Down here is just plain open green space with the bright green colored plates, and then this is suggesting that you're near a body of water, so this could be out by a shore. You kind of have to use your imagination here, but this gives you the opportunity to connect this to water-based sets, potentially. Have boats coming up here, and there's a bench right there and just another small planter. I like this unusual design of crosswalk with the colorful tiles in there. It just shows that you don't have to always just use white lines. You can make things more colorful and interesting, and it really adds a lot to the space, in my opinion. This over here is another park, but just asphalt park in this case, but it's intended to be attached to with elements from other sets to create a little space for street vendors. So right now there's just the noodle vendor here, which is a small stall, but it kind of does the trick. You got enough stuff going on here to suggest what all it will do, and they've given you plenty of spots to connect other things here, so it's not all just tiled over. In a more permanent building is this small pizzeria, which has 2 seats outside, a nice awning, a nice built-up 3D sign, a small billboard up on top, which uses a minimum number of pieces. Large sticker there. This is just an inverted tile, but you can turn this around, and it really looks like a miniaturized, almost forced perspective version of a billboard that I think does a really good job and makes some reference to some of the other things that you will see in this set around different spots. And there's enough detail on the inside of here. You could put like easily 2 minifigures in there, one doing some customer service and talking to a customer at the window, and one going back and preparing the food. Due to the very modular building style of the entire set and most of the city sets that are coming out right now, it's easy to pick this up and just turn it around so you can really see those details better. And there's a decent amount of access for our huge figure hands to get in there to move figures around, although this right here gets in the way a little bit. I'm going to cross back in that direction and go to the comic store. This is one of the first things you build, and I love the color scheme of it, and it has some interesting shaping. I like the small diagonal windows with the diagonal panels there, which I believe are new in that color, especially the trans light blue for all the windows, and mostly stickers are used for detail around here. Ironically, the comic store doesn't have a lot in the way of comics inside of it. Over here you've got the old Ninjago Temple of Air Jitsu set that's on display. Here's something from the in-universe, one of the superhero things that you saw on the billboard. That's a nice, unique print for this piece here. There's, again, another reference to Ninjago here with a trading card. They've been doing these trading cards for quite some time, minifig scale, but this is, I believe, the first one they've done on a fully chrome foil back, and then there are some more merch elements over here. Another Ninjago trading card, a nano figure, and down below is one of those gauntlet pieces that could be a tie-in to the game from the gaming truck set. Directly above that is kind of a hole in the wall space. I believe it's a tool shop is what it looks like. They only have tools in there, but there's no way for minifigures to get to it, and there's no signage for it, so this one's a little bit weird. On that same level is a little tech shop that sells phones. You got 3 different prints of phones in there, just existing ones, and a tablet over on this side, as well as a little balcony with some greenery. I like the shaping here. Some of it feels a little bit familiar to me. Here's what that looks like from the outside, including a nice design element on the tool shop, again, that you don't really have access to. None of this has any access via elevator or stairs or anything. That really would have added a whole lot to the build, a lot of complexity. So you do have to use your imagination for folks to get to the different levels. But this in particular, this little box just struck me as extra odd. The next level up advertises itself as a hotel, and I'm not sure how much of this structure is actually supposed to be part of the hotel. Like, does it also include the sky bridge and what's across from that? Does it just include what's up here? Does it not include this? Is it just this section? Not sure exactly what they were going for there, but I do like the colors here, and I like the different shaping. There are a lot of feelings of inspiration from the best stuff from Lego's Ninjago City series, the stuff that I personally like the most. So this is the inside. This is your, I guess, your main reception desk. You cannot get out to the outside. It's just a window there. Again, you mostly have to use your imagination for access for figures to be getting around in here. And again, most of the details are done with just stickers, just one little built up lantern on the side. We'll go ahead up to this top level, and I will assume that this is one of the suites that you can rent. So there's a bed there with a side table with a lamp on it, and then this is the restroom. So you got the toilet, small basic build, towel hanging from the wall over there, and with the use of the teal, I will assume that this is connected in to the hotel because it's using the same colors. And then over there is a small shower on your far right and a sink with a mirror. It's a sticker, but it's a mirror that actually kind of works. And this one actually does have access via a door, at least to the outer patio. And this has a very charming, very small palm tree build. I mean, it's super small, uses a minimum number of pieces, but to good effect. And this looks like a really nice place to truly relax and feel like you've gone on more of a vacation farther away than you actually have. It's pretty nice design on the outside of this as well. Different colors. Doesn't feel too sterile, has some different shaping as well. I like how it's done. And up above, suggestions of some green energy sources. I really like the idea of the sky bridge here, and this has good access, again, for us huge figures to get in there because it opens up to the side here and also to the other side. So you can put figures in here, you can leave that open, or you can have it just open from the back if you want, so that it kind of matches the overall design, functional design, where things are open and accessible from the back, but still look good and closed up from the other side. That's pretty nice. It's a nice design. However, this little section right here, and this little section right here are connected semi-permanently. This center section won't just pull out on its own for rearrangement. Over here, they've used the roof to good effect. This is something that I've done in my city as well. I think it makes sense. I think it's a good use of otherwise inaccessible roof space, because now you can put lots of minifigures up here. You got a DJ booth and then the lighted dance floor, additional lights up here. You got the big speakers up. I think this is just really efficient, and it looks kind of nice and adds in some extra color and everything. I do want to point out that the light string up here does not use that actual Lego string piece with the studs at either end, which was a little bit difficult, a little bit annoying to try to attach things to. This is actually a rubber piece with bar-sized holes at either end. It's just a lot easier to get the lights on there and to get them to stay facing the direction you want. This landing here, again, attached to the skyway, and there's nothing to really do with it. The next space, I think, is one of the most in-touch modern spaces that Lego has included to try to connect with the youths in quite some time. They actually got it with this one. Some folks may cringe at this, but I think it's a smart inclusion. It's a little filming desk, and there's a box here, so it's a spot to film an unboxing video. Look, there's a cell phone that's set up there for filming, and there's a suggestion of a ring light. You can change the angles of that and everything. And I think that's gonna resonate a little bit more than some older folks would like to admit. I at least like the shaping here. You could change out the exact purpose of this space if you want. It's no big deal. There aren't that many items making it one specific thing in there, but I like the shaping and the coloring. Again, not making things too blocky, but also not wasting a whole lot of parts, putting in tiny little details. This is fairly well blocked off, and the pace of assembling this is good. Obviously, this is a reference to a Lego brick, and it's nice to see that, just the confirmation that this is Lego and Lego is good, and we like Lego around here. Down here, things get a little bit more traditional in the styling. They just bring things back a little bit, more muted tones, but still looks pretty good with the contrast, and still bringing in some curvature with the arch pieces here. You got the dark orange color contrasted against the black for the window frames. Some foliage around here, just a little bit. Again, not using too many pieces. Even a full-on diagonal face here without having a tremendous amount of difficult studs on the side construction. And this is a veterinary office. So there's a parrot in there, which I'm assuming is the pet of somebody who actually works there. You've got an examination table here and some food and water. And the light up above. Otherwise, no other details, but it's enough to get some folks into this space and to be interacting a bit. Also the bottle. And the last section down here at the ground level is a barber shop. And, there's a fair amount of detail over there, more specific items than were absolutely needed. And once again, a sticker is used to create a working mirror, which is nice. And this is fairly open, but most of the detail is concentrated over here. You do have actual minifig access to this, unlike in most of the spots here, so you don't need to use your imagination. And there's a suggestion of a wig on a holder over here, but of course you can take that hairpiece off and style somebody up with it. On the street side, a little bit more foliage is included with some vines going up the side of the wall. And the most camera-friendly angles here, again, have the diagonal entrance there. Nice barber pole, it gives a nice suggestion of what it's supposed to be, but in a small space. And then this window uses 2 stickers, one up above, one below, which is much nicer than using a single sticker that would go over this larger space. Now, obviously, I didn't point at and point out every single stud, every single piece in the entire set along the way. Many things are very, very obvious there, but there's a lot more substantive stuff that I need to talk about with this. But let me just give you a quick look at it from some different angles so you get a better idea of its overall shape and what it looks like in a given space, without trying to make it look better than it is, without filling it up with figures and getting everything posed just right. This is the main thing that you get here, and then you add figures onto that. You see its overall shape. It does have a little bit of bulk, even though you have this large open area here for vehicles to get through. There's still a little bit of height over here, a little bit of suggestion of some liveliness to the terrain itself. It's not just a couple of boxes put on a flat surface. And I feel like they did a pretty good job of balancing the greenery. They brought in more than they needed to, maybe not as much as many of us would like to see, but they didn't waste space. And I feel like nothing feels too forced here to me. It feels pretty well balanced. There's more to talk about with the structure, but let's take a detour to look at these small vehicles. You've got the 3-wheeler. It's kind of like a tuk-tuk here. It's a smoothie cart. And the design of it, I think, is near perfect for Lego scale. It feels kind of classic, but yet it's a more modern vehicle that they didn't do years and years ago. It's got the opening doors that everybody loves and raves about and wants to see on every vehicle, even though they don't do anything. It's just fun to look, they look good, and it's fun to open and close them. Of course, us huge figures, to actually put a minifigure in there, need to always take off the roof, and it's just a basic little control cab there. But for your smoothie cart, you've got a blender that you can set up and angle that around, so you could like pull this up next to or across from the noodle joint, or just have it on the street anywhere, use it elsewhere in your city, your layout. It kind of works for all sorts of things. And take off some of the individual items. Got the strawberry little strawberry tile that's been around for a while, and a suggestion of maybe a celery stalk or something like that. And you could use this for ferrying out to a farm. You could use it for delivering packages. Obviously it's got the fresh branding on top, but this is just a really useful, good design. I do wish that it came with an additional cup though, since there's only one there. And then the scooter, I'm assuming, is an e-scooter, and let's just keep things light and nice and fun. A little bit imaginative. We'll not connect this to the scourge of e-scooters in many cities and towns that are rented, and then people just get them and they throw them into a river or something. No, this is somebody's individual personal one, and it's not going to be thrown anywhere. It's going to be used for a very long time to go to a lot of places, have a lot of adventures, and have a lot of fun. Oh yeah, there's also this tan-colored, either golden retriever or yellow lab, or maybe a mix between the two. It's good dog. That's what it is. I think it's the only second time that we've gotten this mold in this color so far, and we need more. Obviously, these figures do not need to be exactly what I'm going to call them, but I'll just give them names and tasks, and you can reassign as you wish from there. The veterinarian, street performer, nice prints there, and the pizza chef. These are all good either for their parts, their prints, or for what they're suggesting to do, or once again for their accessories. Lots of good stuff here. We're going to call these tech store employee, hotel visitor, and comic store patron. Yeah, that'll work. Lots of new stuff here with new prints, good accessories, that green colored hair, the headphone piece, which of course is removable. You don't need to use that. Yeah, lots of good stuff here. I like the combinations, and I like the possibilities, and the fact that so far none of these torsos are gender specific, so you can swap them around freely and make up whoever you want with all these pieces. I think all three of these are just intended to be general citizens. I don't think any of them are intended to be specifically attached to any of the buildings or businesses here. Really nice prints though, especially all of them. All of them have great torso prints. You got the little insert short skirt piece there as well, which is just a solid plastic in black. You got the cat ears over here, which are removable if you don't want to have those on. And underneath here, you also get one that has an alternate face. Would have been nice to get alternate faces for at least two of these, I'd say, of the three. Here we have potentially the noodle stand guy, barber, and hotel employee, though again, it's a fool's errand to specifically attach any one figure in this set to any one specific role. This is Lego City. They're not named characters. You should take them apart and recombine them and make your own characters out of it, make your own stories and everything. But if you use this as the barber's head, there's a funny thing that comes out of it, because the alternate face looks like he has made a terrible mistake. Like he's just looking back and like, yikes, what have I done? Or maybe he picked the wrong color of dye, not the one that the customer asked for, or something like that. Speaking of mistakes, there's also a mistake on the print for the legs there, unfortunately. And then here on the left, we have a city and park cleanup and maintenance person. Unfortunately, the print for that torso still not good enough. It should be a match, at least somewhat of a match, between the top of the overalls and the bottom portion, which is supposed to be all one bit, and also the white in there is supposed to be white. It's just a little bit distracting to me. And over here on the right is a mascot from the in-universe either game or superhero franchise, which we saw on the billboard. And this person is all set up in full cosplay. Unfortunately here, once again, another terrible print. It reminds me of Mercy from Overwatch and how poorly it's done, and also how it's approached design-wise. Yeah, it's just plain not good. That's supposed to be yellow, full-on yellow. It's supposed to be the same color as this over here, and they just did it. Honestly, just a lazy job with that. I like this alternate print. I wish that it was done better also, but check this out. Design-wise, that is useful. I wish that the mouth opened up a little bit more so that we would not see any of the green here. I think the green is just off palette for that alien T-Rex style of animal, but the idea is there, and I think the idea is good. In addition to the extra hair piece we saw at the barber, these two additional headgear pieces are included. Here are the leftover pieces. There are some good little items in there, chief among them being obviously these extra 6 2x4 tiles for connecting more of the modern road plates together. How many times have viewers, how many times have I complained that the road plate system is kind of incomplete because none of the sets that included the modern road plates have extra tiles to actually connect things at the ends, where the ramps typically are to let cars drive up on the sides. You take those ramps off and then you're left with nothing. And how many times did I not cynically mention that it would cost the multi-billion-dollar Lego group a fraction of a penny per set to include some extras of these? Well, they listened to all of us And they've started including extras, and I'm very, very thankful for that because it's the right thing for them to do. And finally here, stickers. Yeah, it's a big set. Has a lot of details, a lot of decorations. There's one sticker sheet, the regular white backed one, and then here's another because that's the one with the chrome base. Right, so now it's time to talk about price and value, right? No, not yet. Nah, there's a whole other factor here. There's a whole other dimension to this, and that is the modularity of how it is built, because each of these little things here is its own thing. You already saw how this comes off, right? Well, it keeps going. It keeps going. Yeah, they did this thing. They've done the thing that Lego Friends, has done so well over the past couple of seasons, and that city itself has been lagging behind on. They actually made modules that are intended to be rearranged. And what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to take it real easy on myself. I'm simply going to rearrange this the way that is suggested on the box as one alternate. Well, that was a bit of an adventure. It's a little bit trickier than it looks. More things get swapped around than meet the eye at first to match the picture, but this is pretty much it. So this, this changes the feel of the thing a bit, changes how it plays, though you do still have some major blocks that are kind of preserved in some ways, but it's a good experience, as is normally the case with modular things in one particular set, with one particular product. You are limited. It's not unlimited how you can rearrange things. Some things just simply won't work with only the parts included in the set. This actually left me with just these ramps for one side left over. Yeah, but it's decent experience. Changes things around a decent amount. But the real power with the system is being able to use it with other sets, right? Other sets that use the modern road plate system, and other sets that are using the similar types of modules, which includes sets from Friends, right? They use the exact same size of base, the 8x16. So that's gonna allow people to, I think, really expand their horizons a lot more, and hopefully it will lead to more cross-play between the themes, since Friends has done so well prior to this in developing city buildings. Honestly, it's just generally good. It's not absolutely revolutionary, but I think I'm a little bit biased by the fact that I am an adult. But the biggest value of the modular system is that so many kids, especially these days, just don't modify their Lego sets. It's a fact. It's something that people don't like to recognize, but it's a fact. A lot of kids do not modify their Lego sets. They just build them, and then they're built, and that's the end of it. Yeah, like say this one over here doesn't work. If I wanted to put this here, I guess I could shift it back. Yeah, okay, overhang this way. I can shift it back, and then I'm missing one thing, but this makes it really easy to start modifications. Now I've got this just off to the side, and it just has to be attached somewhere down on the ground. It's just a little tool shed anyway. But yeah, that's it. So all in all, I say the system works. It provides an easy way to get into customization, especially for folks who are not so used to it, and I think that's a very good thing. The price of this was, again, $200 US. It is, that doesn't make any sense, 210 euros as a starting point, 180 pounds UK. Sorry, I didn't prep this in advance, but in Canada it's $260 Canadian, which is approximately $196 US equivalent. Folks who only look at price to part ratio are going to be very, very happy right now. Thankfully, I'm somebody who doesn't only look at price to part ratio. However, I'm still at least satisfied with this. Like, for the amount of stuff here, this is the price of a modular building. And it does not give you, of course, it does not give you as much detail as a modular building, but it gives you probably a bit more usable interior space and playable space. Certainly a whole lot more that you can do with it. And way more minifigures as well than a modular building. I don't think that relative to other things from Lego right now, this is too badly overpriced. And it does have a bunch of very large pieces compared to modular buildings that have one base plate and then a billion tiny little 1x1s for details and things and tiles and stuff. But I would like to see this at like 180. I think is about where I'm at with it. 180, 170 to 180. So yeah, like a 10 to 15% discount is all that I personally would ask for with this, and that's not a lot. That's going to be fairly easy to find before long. Of course, if you live in European countries that get these wild 30, 35, 40% discounts on day one from anywhere other than Lego, great. I'm happy for you. But in all the parts of the world that don't get crazy day one deals, we're not getting ripped off. And if we get just a little bit of a discount, I think that we're in good shape. Now I look forward to this system being continued forward and expanded upon. I think that City is hitting its stride. Once again, thank you very much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this and got some value out of the video, and I will continue to work, bring you more, and talk to you again soon.